Hi there, and welcome to Dork Wars Live. My name is Blake, and I'll be your host this evening. Thank you guys for joining us. We're going to be talking some crazy stuff. Got my good friend Joker Voice on the stream tonight. What's going on, Joker?
Hello, everybody. Yes, I am here with news. May not be the news you want to hear, but might be the news you need to hear.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Man, you need like you need some kind of like video intro. That's what you need. Every time you're
Working
on
on it.
someone's pod, you need like
Working on
some
it.
kooky. They're working on all right. Some kind of kooky intro video. But anyways, I don't really have a ton of news, and I do got one.
Oh,
Well,
there's
let's just
news.
we'll talk about it
Oh,
in a minute.
there's
Yeah,
news.
there's news. Well, we got to save the main news. We got to save DC. What we're talking DC. We're going to be talking James Gunn DC a little bit later, but we got some other news for then. So now hear this.
Now hear this. Now hear this.
Now you hear this, whoever you are.
All right. I'm guessing it played. Okay, yeah, it played. My internet has been horrible the last couple of days. I literally just saw a still of me and Joker kind of looking befuzzled while it said the video was playing. So I don't even know if it played.
I like it.
Anyways, thank you. So now hear this. We're going to be talking some news. First off, we do have a rumor. Rumor has it. And I'll tell you, man, this one's steamy. It's a steamy rumor. Like it's it's one of the things I think. I don't know if it's maybe more wishful thinking.
If it's what I'm thinking of, once you break it down, this is completely rumor, and there's no basis in anything that's even going to happen.
Hence the rumor has it.
Is it what I think it is?
We're talking Kathleen. Yeah, we're definitely talking about Disney having to sell off some properties. They've had such a bad time of it the last, probably year. Last year, Disney's stock has just been plummeting.
Since the last time I was on your show, Disney has exposed itself to be in much worse financial shape than we've been led to believe. Yeah. So, I've heard,
but and the rumor.
Okay, yeah, the rumor is
that Disney is going to sell Lucasfilm back to George Lucas, and I don't know.
No,
it's too much.
I'm going to dispel that right now. The answer is no. That's never going to happen. One, because I know the source of this. I know the source of this rumor. I've seen them on other streams, and in the past they've been pretty reliable. Of late, they've gotten some bad info, and I'm not going to name names. But along with this rumor with selling properties or IPs, was also selling Shanghai Disneyland. That's never going to happen.
Yeah,
Disney.
No,
Disney doesn't own that. I mean, on paper they have a 50% stake in it, but no, that's never happening. For one, why would George want it?
Yeah,
I mean,
now that his legacy's in shambles after the sequels, I think the story that he was trying to tell, they pretty much said, no, that wasn't the end. Return of the Jedi is not the end of the story. It's just the beginning of our story, and that's not true. The stuff that's come out, all the series like Obi-Wan Kenobi, stuff like that, it just goes against everything that George ever thought for Star Wars. So I don't think he wants his hands in it anymore. I mean, I'm sure I think I've seen where he's collabed a little bit with them and been on set for some stuff, but because he's a creator, nothing more than Pop
and just because, and he's 80 right now. So once you get through all the legal stuff, which there's you would have to have, because the way this works, and it's a lot easier. Like let's say when Disney Plus bought the Netflix Marvel shows, you're you're going from one platform to another. So all the
Right.
internal contracts of milestones that people get paid based on those are already baked in. Disney Plus just assumes those. George is not a streaming platform. So, and
No.
these milestone contracts, they go on for 20 years. So George would be on the hook until he's 100 to
Or
make that
more,
happen.
probably like 105.
Maybe around there. And so then there's also all the legal stuff of, if you do sell, well, what belongs to Disney, what belongs to
Right.
Lucasfilm? Because as far as merch goes, if you go to the parks, there was Star Wars Disney park specific merch. So you have to separate
Yeah.
that out. Then
Right.
George has to gut the entire thing, because Kathleen Kennedy, her infrastructure is full of people that hate him. And then
Yeah.
on top of that, then you greenlight a project. Then you have to greenlight a project. So by the time all this is done, he's pushing 90.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
At
no,
least.
that's not
And that's if
happening.
everything goes smooth.
Right. Now, I would
I don't
say
think so either.
now the fact that Lucasfilm being sold, okay, that might still be on the table, but it's going to have to be to a company, not an individual. Say
Not an individual.
say Apple.
Ooh.
I mean, Apple has enough. Apple has enough. Apple has enough capital to buy Disney outright.
Yeah.
And they have a streaming service. And not to plant any more rumors, but there's someone who sits on the Apple board, Robert Iger.
Yeah. It could happen. It could happen. Then I'd have to buy Apple TV. I don't want to do that.
It's $5 a month.
Is it really? Oh, well.
I think right now it is. It's the same price as Peacock, I think.
Well, I guess I can spare that for Star Wars, and maybe I don't know. Maybe we get some good content. Who knows? Who knows at this point? I don't know.
Not worth it.
I don't know. But as far as like news, that's kind of what I have. Do you have any other news there, Joker Voice? Anything crazy on the table?
Right before we came on, I was checking box office. I was checking box office projections as I do. I'm a numbers guy, and this ties into what we're going to be talking about. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, based on the projections, will have just passed break even.
Well, good for them. They deserve it.
Well, yeah. So break even based on the numbers that Disney gave, put it at about $800 million to break even. Based on the projections, it's going to, after going into Monday, it's at about $805 million.
Okay.
So we have another pattern. So we have another pattern with the MCU. You get 3 movies that suck. One makes a profit. 3 movies suck. One just passes break even. So they're in the black now. We'll see how much
they're trending now.
Yeah. So the next film for them is the Marvels, which is gonna suck. So
yeah, I'm not interested in it. I was never interested in Captain Marvel. I saw a little bit of it on Disney Plus when I think Disney Plus might have been new, or it just whenever it came out on Disney Plus. Yeah. So it came out on Disney Plus. I watched like 15 minutes of it. And I was just like, this is not for me. I don't think.
Well, it's a box office. It hit 1.1. It hit 1.1 billion dollars. But then
Right.
again, it was sandwiched in between Infinity War and Endgame. So it really
Oh
had
yeah.
no
I mean,
place. It really had no
yeah.
place to go but up.
Right. And
And
then on top of that, I think the marketing for that movie was well done because it seemed like a
and
decent movie from
and
the
a lot
marketing.
of folks didn't know who Brie Larson was.
Yeah.
That's a big one. This film, the Marvels, it has no room to breathe at the box office at all because it opens November 10th. On November 3rd, you get the part 2 of Dune, which is there. That's all I really have
You're gonna hit
to
it.
say.
Yeah.
It's good. That's gonna crush it. And then
Yeah. It gets my watch.
and then November 17th is the prequel to the Hunger Games.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm as excited about that one.
No,
I'm not.
Dune. I am. Whoa,
Oh yeah. Now Dune, I am. Yes, Dune, I
No,
am excited about.
no,
I'm talking about
no,
the.
November can't come fast enough. I'm like, wow.
I'm ready for Dune. It's the snake sings a song about something. The Hunger Games thing. I didn't read the book either.
Ballad of Songbirds and Serpents.
Yeah, that's what I said, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I've just never been like a big prequel. I mean, the Star Wars prequels are one thing. As far as most of the time, I'm just not that big on prequels. I want to know what happens next, not what happens.
Then might I suggest something that might change your mind on that?
Oh no.
House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon.
I have to check it out.
Check it out. Game of Thrones equal. Oh yeah. It is amazing.
Great. See, and there's some prequels that are good. I like the Fantastic Beast. Like the first Fantastic Beast movie was a good watch.
No, they weren't
for me. I don't know. It was different. It was. I was interested in the characters. I didn't care for this. I like Johnny Depp in the second one. He like his. I mean, he is just playing Johnny Depp as a wizard. But I thought that was intriguing. But other than that, I just didn't. I don't know. I wish they wouldn't have tried to fit it into the
tied into the
Grindelwald, not Voldemort, Grindelwald, Dumbledore story. Established characters. I think they should have just kept it outside that realm. It was a good place for it.
If you're gonna do a sequel or a prequel to Harry Potter, the logical one is the four individuals and how they came to create Hogwarts.
Yeah. I think that would be great. And that's as far enough out from the time of the Harry Potter series that you've heard about those characters, but like it has no real bearing on what happens in Harry Potter. I mean, it does a little bit. I mean, you got, of course, Slytherin's got to put the basilisk down, the Chamber of Secrets and all that, but on the whole,
just a pet.
It's far enough removed.
Just a pet.
Yeah. But
and plus
the prequels got on the whole.
And plus the Fantastic Beasts films. I mean, if you have a Hufflepuff as your lead, they're bound to fail. So I'm just saying.
Hey, that's right. Now, Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones Temple of Doom. I do like that prequel.
Yeah, good one.
Love Temple. I think that's my favorite Indiana Jones.
Speaking of Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy, haven't you heard this one yet?
Mixed reviews. Mixed reviews.
Oh no, it's not mixed. This film is going to tank.
I hate to hear that. I really do.
Well, based on deadlines and numbers, and deadlines pretty good with their early numbers. It's opening a weekend domestically, which is U.S. and Canada. We're looking at 60 million.
Really?
That's it.
See, I don't know.
Okay. So just to put that into context, Solo: A Star Wars Story, 84 million domestic opening weekend.
Yeah.
The Eternals domestic opening weekend, 71 million. This is projected to do worse than the Eternals and Solo.
So let me ask you this, Joker.
Sure.
Let me ask you this on the whole, and I want your honest opinion. Is it? I look at old movies and I watched like the first 3 Indiana Jones films, the original Star Wars. You watch
the only ones?
The first 2 Superman movies. Sorry,
right? You mean as far as Indiana Jones, the only 3 films? There was no 4th film,
right? Never happened. You know, films like that, they were so well made. The pacing's just right. The story's just right. You get enough information on the background and you have enough information to go forward with the story. I don't feel like films are made like that anymore. Just in general. I just feel like most films that I watch are not made to that standard anymore. And that's just me. Some exceed expectations. There's some that knock it out of the park, but on the whole, I feel like we're just force-fed rush stories and Easter eggs and did you see this in the movie? Did you see this in the movie? And that's what I feel like.
That's called jangling keys.
Yeah.
That's what that's called. Give you enough jangling keys to make you go, ooh, I remember that. Ooh, I remember that. Ooh, I know that name. Ooh, I know that story.
Right.
Kind of like when Ahsoka said heir to the Empire.
Yeah.
That's just jangling keys.
That's what got everyone's ringing. Yeah. I just feel like most films are like Crystal Skulls. Talking about the 4th Indiana Jones never exists. I just didn't care for the film. It just wasn't a good film. Period.
It's a bad story. It was a cash grab, and you know the only good part about Crystal Skull was Marion and Indy get married, and as it should have been. But that's it. But I mean, so you're talking like stuff like the OT, the only 3 indie films. Well,
and I feel bad about comparing because these are classics. These are the standards, man. These are some of the best films of all time. The Wizard of Oz. I mean, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Best films of all time.
Well, kind of goes back to what who was it? Megan said in the last time I was on when in your chat. These filmmakers took risks, and there was something that they were passionate about. Movies now are made to sell things. They're made to check boxes and just provide content to, I guess, dull the masses, I guess. And this is where we've gotten away. Because you can't just make a movie anymore. Because you can't just make the film you want to make anymore. You got to check boxes. You got to make. You got to make sure you have this amount of people. You got to have this amount of representation in front of the camera, behind the camera, in the studio.
Right.
And it's being done by analytics, where instead of passion. And that's my personal take. And we talked about the 80s the last time I was on your show, and some of those great films. My friend Tom over at the Midnight's Edge says it a lot, but what Hollywood needs again is cocaine and capitalism.
Well, when you put it that way, at the same time, though, I think you hit it on the head, man. It's about analytics. That's where it's at. It's not about the passion. It's about the analytics. I like the way you explained that, Joker voice. That's right on the head. I'm going to quote you from now on.
Well,
I'm going to say that and be like, that's JV.
There you go.
But awesome. Well, we'll go on and move along now. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the Dork Wars merchandise store.
Merchandising.
Merchandising? What's that?
Merchandising. Come, I'll show you. Open up the store.
We've got Dork Wars, the t-shirt, Dork Wars, the hoodie, Dork Wars, the coffee mug, and we even have Dork Wars, the projected lineup of James Gunn DC. No, we don't. We don't have like a whole thing with them. That'd be cool though. I'd like a promotion deal. We will talk about that later. But first, go to dorkwarspodcast.com. There you will find everywhere that we are, on Spotify, Apple Music. We're on Chrome podcast, anything. If you listen to podcasts and you know the podcatchers, just go type in Dork Wars Podcast. We're there. I do got some exciting news. We haven't posted our usual audio show in quite some time. I mean, months. And and that's where we started. And that's like our main show. This is just something fun I like to do, to have people on that I enjoy talking with. This is kind of like my gong show, if you will. Love doing Dork Wars live, but at the same time, our audio shows where you can catch me and the other main Dorks, Grant, Diedrich, Wesley, Andrew, where we talk about all things Star Wars and more. But we interviewed Aiden Barton a couple weeks ago, Diedrich and myself. And if you don't know that name, it's not no shocker. He's not been anything crazy big. He was in Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. He was Baby Luke and Baby Leia in those films. We did an interview with him, just kind of discussing about his what that's meant to him and how has that affected his life, things like that. A very fun interview. Great kid. Has got a good head on his shoulders. And I'm gonna hopefully be releasing that this Tuesday. So check that out.
Very cool. Then someone I know in my sphere on YouTube has the channel Call Me Chato. He's a former Canadian TV network executive, but he's also a voice actor as well. And since I know you like the voice actors, Blake, he was a voice in the Ewoks cartoon.
Oh wow, yeah, that'd be a little niche thing that I'd like to do. Yeah, I'll have to reach out. We'll get together on that.
All right,
that sounds awesome. Awesome. Well, like I said, check out dorkwarspodcast.com for all that great stuff. Dork Wars, the podcast, is also part of the Red 5 Network.
This podcast is part of the Red 5 Network. For more Red 5 Network podcasts, visit red5network.com.
And
I think that's a outdated video. That's okay.
Yeah, because I'm like, are you guys paying royalties to Alex from Salty Nerd for each time you play that?
I'm not. I have to talk to Ro about that. I got to get the new one. I just hadn't downloaded. Dude, I get so busy. I don't even have like a title screen for the James Gunn DC stuff. I usually have a title screen for everything I do. I don't have one for that.
That's fine.
But for the Red 5 Network, all those shows, there's something for everybody. If you like discussions, if you like just pointless blathering sometimes, just crazy, funny people, Red 5's where it's at. Analytics, we have analytics. We got Dishevel. We have everything. Everything is at the Red 5 Network. So go check that out at, I believe I got it here. I always get this wrong. bio.link/Red 5. You can see that at the bottom of the screen. Awesome. And for Dork Wars podcast and for the Red 5, JV, I'm going to ask you a little bit later in the show when we end up, but where can we find you at? Where can we find your content?
You can find me on YouTube at The Joker's Voice, and that's where I am. I'm about 36 subscribers away from 500. So
let's get him there, guys. Let's get him there.
That's right.
I know there's no one watching live, but hopefully we'll get some replays on this. Go check
right?
Joker out.
That's right.
Dead chat tonight. That's okay. But for Joker Voice has fantastic videos. I love his take on things, and sometimes I agree with Joker wholeheartedly. Sometimes I'm I can see where he's coming from, and I'm there. And then sometimes we don't always mesh, and that's okay. I think that's part of the discussion. I love it.
You'll learn.
Yeah, I'll learn. Maybe, hey man, maybe you'll learn something from me every once in a while. We'll see. We'll see about it. But I do enjoy his videos. Always awesome, always entertaining. And that's the thing. If it's entertaining, that's the biggest thing, right? If it's entertaining, that's what I get. Even I'll listen to people. I'm not going to say the name of this pod. No, it is. I want to give you an example before I play the dreaded clip that no one likes but me.
Oh,
but
I hate that thing.
I know you hate it. I know, but it's the best thing came out of the sequels. It is.
It's horrible.
But there's a podcast that started around the same time as Dork Wars, and we did some cross promotion a little bit. Not naming any names, and as time went on, it was like my guilty pleasure. I would go and listen to this podcast, and it was just not very good, and their takes were not very good. And I don't know. It was like a train wreck. I could not watch. No, it was not Mike Zero. Not Mike Zero.
Which, by the way, folks,
I might disclose the. No, do not listen to Mike. Yeah, I'll let you know later on. We'll talk. But yeah, if you listen to Mike Zero, I tell you what, Mike Zero's return, Rise of Skywalker movie sounded actually kind of cool. Okay.
But then again, Mike Zero has had KK fired 750 times this last year.
Yeah, just this year. She's been fired. Dude, that's his best video because he posts it every week. But anyways, for Dork Wars, the podcast, for the Red 5 Network, for Joker Voice, his YouTube, just like and subscribe.
Why do you hate us?
I don't know. I like the guilty head. Just well, anyways, there is a main topic to all this. Most of what we've been doing so far has just been flash fire news. I came on before I got on. All of my computer logged Dork Wars out of everything, so I had to relog into everything. So I got on, and it was literally just like hit the button and go. So we do have a main topic. Tonight we're going to be talking about the James Gunn lineup for DC Studios. Yep. And this is where a flashy video would play, but I don't have one tonight. So DC. So Joker Voice. Let's just get into it. What is your purview? What do you think we're going to see from a James Gunn DC Studios?
Okay, I'm actually going through my notes to the video that I made on this. So I've got to find that. No, never mind. Okay, so here's what I think is going to happen. Happen. We're not going to get a connected universe. This is what I think. I think James Gunn is going to set the table with a lot of ideas, because if you look at the slate, you've got horror in Swamp Thing. You've got your two tent poles. You got the Bat and Superman. You have a fantasy epic, and you have a fantasy that's a Snyder shirt. That doesn't count.
Hey man, that first one, Man of Steel, was a good movie. I like Man of
Steel. Man of Steel sucked. That's right.
I like
Man of Steel is a decent superhero film. It's a terrible Superman film.
New 52. We'll talk about it later.
Okay, so you got the Bat, you got Superman, you've got crime drama in the Lanterns, you've got comedy in Booster Gold, you've got Paradise Lost, so you've got a fantasy epic. But none of these are all set at exactly the same time. So I think what you're going to get is a sampler platter, which, much like what Zaslav wants to do with Harry Potter, rebuild interest in the IP and sell it off.
Yeah.
That's
No,
what I think
I think
going
that's
to happen.
I think that we've gotten so used to the interconnected story between, like, Marvel was the big one. MCU, when it started, it was
Right.
the big one that kind of put it all into motion. We got that first Iron Man film, was like, oh man, that was great. And then you get the next one, it's like, oh man, there's an after credit scene. And then you get this and that. And then oh man, there's Avengers. Awesome. That's cool. I never thought I'd see
Right.
that. And then it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and more interconnected and more confusing and this and this and this. But I think going back to a formula where it's not all connected, where we just have really good movies. That could work.
The other reasoning of this is whoever buys DC, which James Gunn and Safran will be part of the deal. You don't get get DC without them. You don't want, because what generally happens, a new company takes over and then they do a restart, or a restart of the entire thing again. This way you've got a sampler, so whoever buys the IP now can start where they want to start from. So they are not beholden to a existing storyline.
I could agree with that. No, that's great logic. I mean, why would you want to be held down? I mean, if you, I'll tell you this, and this is something I'll keep going. You got this. I got a point, but I'll make it in a minute.
Okay, so because let's see, your Paradise Lost is before Diana was ever born or made. So
right.
so you've got this is before anything. You've got a young Superman. The Batman film Brave and the Bold, you're starting off with Damian Wayne as Robin.
Yeah.
So, that's a red flag to me, but that's one thing we can discuss that later on. But your point was going to be what?
So, and this is kind of what I like about DC animation. DC animation is the best out there. Gosh, oh my! Even like, because they had kind of like a DC animated universe, kind of like everything was kind of connected right there for a little while. But even before then, like Under the Red Hood, Superman All Stars, almost every single title that's Justice League Dark knocks it out of the park. Every single one.
The Apocalypse War,
Killing Joke. Which one?
Apocalypse War.
Yeah, Apocalypse War is fantastic. I think that's one of the ones. I don't think that was connected to any of the. Is it one of the connected ones?
Oh yes, it is because where it really took off was basically they did the New 52 era,
right.
And it started with Flashpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended with Apocalypse War, where Flash creates another Flashpoint to reset everything.
That's right. You're right. That's right. That was the climax. I love those series of movies, and man. You get bloody. Like Superman.
That was bloody too.
Yeah,
that was bloody.
Dude, it was. I remember watching those and be like, man, these are not for kids. But that's okay. It was for me.
And the best actor to play John Constantine.
Yes,
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, it was all great stuff. I like seeing Superman and Wonder Woman together. They're a couple. Like, you get that power dynamic for a little bit. And then I think he eventually meanders over to Lois. But even with this is pretty recent. The last couple of years is the Death of Superman and the Reign of the Superman. Those were great. Right. Not necessarily connected to everything.
Right.
But kind of, I feel like this is where the DC Studios needs to go, not just in animation, but the movies too. I mean, it kind of looks like they're trying this. So
because you got the Elseworld tales, which are going to be clearly labeled Elseworld, like DC Elseworld, right. And that would be your Matt Reeves Batman and your Todd Phillips Joker sequel.
Right. Right. Which all good stuff. Can't wait to see that as well. So let's just get into it, Joker. What is your list? What are you most excited about in this lineup of films?
I am just going down the list. Creature Commandos. I mean, I love animation and the image that I saw. I was like, oh, that looks neat. And and they've been cast. The casting is actors who, if they decide to do it, would play these characters in live action as well. So they play a dual role.
Yeah, I like
Superman,
that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, Superman Legacy. Obviously, this is the
Start point.
this
Kickoff.
This is going to be the cornerstone. If this does not win over the crowd, because let's be honest, the superhero genre is kind of entered its fat Elvis stage. So it's kind of it's kind of on its downward point. But I also like the thing about Superman Legacy is James Gunn has said that Superman is supposed to embody truth, justice, and the American way.
American way. Yeah.
You are saying the right things, James.
Yes, that's definitely a Christopher Reeves type Superman. That's what I want to see. I couldn't find, so this is the only Superman shirt I could find in my closet. I couldn't find my original logo Superman. That's why I'm wearing James Snyder Superman. Okay.
Zack Snyder's.
I don't dislike. Or is that, who did I say?
James
Snyder. Who's James Snyder? I don't even know who that is. I probably went to school with that guy. Man, I'm getting James. Zack Snyder. Not to say that I don't like his. I like that Superman. I don't dislike him, but you know,
you liked the way Henry Cavill looked being Superman. That's what that is.
Maybe it might be. It might have been.
I mean,
I reserve judgment.
Let's be honest. Henry's jacked. So
yeah, I don't know. I still think I like Man of Steel. On the whole, I like Man of Steel. It did some crazy things.
It's a terrible film. It's a terrible Superman film. Okay, so back to the slate.
anyways, back to James Gunn.
Okay. Okay, so the Waller Show is just basically a second season of Peacemaker, which I did not see. Right. I can't stand Cena. I think
I'm behind on it. I haven't seen it either.
I think he is Will Ferrell on steroids. I have no desire to see
Will Ferrell.
Ugh, gross. Let's see. So Legacy, definitely a Superman Legacy. Yeah. Paradise Lost is supposed to be kind of like a Game of Thrones, and I'm like, that depends on which direction of Game of Thrones do you want to go? Do you want to go gratuitous violence or gratuitous nudity? Mm-hmm. Take your pick off.
We'll see. I don't know. DC gets gritty, man. They get a little suggestive sometimes. Yes, they can be. So
lanterns, because I love the green. Because I love the Green Lantern.
Heck yeah, the Lantern Corps. It's amazing.
Yes. And then let's see. These Supremacy, I think they're called.
The Authority?
The Authority, that's it. Don't really know much about them, so I could take it or leave it.
Yeah. So I believe the Authority, some of that's going to be set up in Superman Legacy, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe. Rumor has it.
Well, because I think they used the Authority concept in the animated film Superman versus the Elite. I think that's the Swamp Thing. Definitely looking for
that's gonna be cool, man.
Because I hope they bring out my boy John Constantine. I love that character. I'm actually looking forward to Booster Gold. because I think Chris Pratt is gonna walk across. I think Chris Pratt is walking across the street to be with James Gunn on that.
I hope
My
so.
only red
Love it.
my only red flags are really the Batman Brave and the Bold and Supergirl. Those are my only two red flags.
So we'll get to Batman in a minute. I want to know your misgivings about Supergirl. Is it because she's a girl? Joker,
No,
are you being misogynistic right now? I was kidding.
No, as much as I get accused of that, no. Kara is a great character,
Fantastic character.
but
yes.
the writer who's run their basing this film off of, they're going off of the Tom King run. Now, Tom King is he's ex-CIA who turned to comic books to work out his demons. And I'm like, ooh.
That's scary. That's the youth of the nation you're talking to.
Yeah, so
young at heart.
And she got the Tom King Supergirl was kind of Captain Marvel when Brie Larson came along. That's how she kind of is. Kind of a girl boss, likes to put. Yeah, so I'm not. That's huge.
But that's not Kara. But that's not Kara though. That's not. That is not her
Kara,
character.
Correct. No, not at all.
Yeah, Kara.
But that's Tom King's run.
Yes,
and that's what they're using as the basis for this Supergirl film. So red flag.
Well, and I'll tell you what, the numbers won't lie. I know you're a numbers guy, and
true story.
The numbers don't lie. So, yeah, I could see that. I love the character very much. I think one of my favorite renditions of that. Were you a big Smallville fan, Joker voice?
Oh, she was hot.
Yeah,
she was hot.
Well, Lois, I mean, Erica Durant, come on, that whole show. But I like beyond that. I think the show was a very good show. The middle was weird. It got really weird in the middle.
Here's my take on Smallville. Smallville was great when it stayed in Smallville.
Yes.
When it moved into Metropolis, it got real cheesy, real fast,
real quick. And you got them Easter egg things. Yeah. I think it was great. Like seasons 1 through 3 were really, really good. Yeah. And that's all it did, really. Seasons 1 through 3 were very, very good. And then they jangle, Bizarro over your head and Brainiac.
Zod, and Brainiac, the Wonder Twins.
Yeah. And it's like, he's not even Superman yet. Come on.
He was the Blur. What?
The Blur. Yeah, I didn't like that. Yeah, that's crazy. I think it took too long for him to become Superman for me. I could have done that show in 3 seasons. I think 3 to 4 seasons would have been great. Because like I said, I really like the first 3 seasons. The middle is like really just like weird. And then I think they finished strong, but
and I think the Superman legacy film I think James is going to adapt the Superman Man of Tomorrow story, where guess who Superman gets to fight?
Who's he fighting, Joker?
Lobo.
I'd love to see that. And if we know anything, Lobo is supposed to be played
by Jason Momoa, who really that's the part. Momoa. Really, that is the role he was made for. Absolutely.
He was. I hope they do something like real meta where he's like, I hope he fights Aquaman. You're just like, whoa, Anyway.
Okay, you guys and all the meta stuff. Wow, just tell a good story. Come on now.
It's a joke. I was joking.
I know.
I don't really want that.
No, you don't.
But no, I think that'd be a great story. I hope that's the route they go. But yeah, Supergirl, you have to play it right. Kara Zor-El is she is a strong female character, but she's not like an overt boss. She's right. You have to play her right. She's very insecure.
She is not Ray.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No.
And I can give it. She's stronger than Superman, supposedly.
She can be because of
be.
because
And I'm okay with that.
the reasoning is because she spent more time in space.
Yes.
So her cells absorbed more cosmic radiation.
Right.
So in the presence of a yellow sun, it absorbs even faster.
That's right.
So
And
she's got more potential strength than
right.
Superman.
So, and that's something I think it's cool to the story. I think it's interesting. Just so we cover all the bases, we don't say we're scared about this because she's a girl. Period.
No,
That's not what it is. It's not at all.
It's the writer who they're adapting his stories.
Correct.
That's my red flag.
So the brave and the bold, or brave.
Yeah.
It's not even the brave. I think it's just brave and the bold. I don't even think it's
Brave
the
and bold.
Just brave and the bold.
Brave and the bold.
What are your misgivings about starting with the Damian Wayne era of Batman?
Well, for one, you're bypassing Dick Grayson. You're bypassing
all time.
You're bypassing Batgirl. You're bypassing Jason Todd. You're
I love Jason Todd. Yeah.
I did too. His head squished quite nicely. Just a crowbar. You are bypassing Tim Drake. So you're bypassing decades of story to start with basically a homicidal Wesley Crusher.
Yeah. Yeah, Damian's he's a very
loose cannon.
Yeah, I was gonna say a unique. I don't know.
He's a dick. He's a dick.
Yeah, he is. Which is I think everything the other Robins were like. Even Jason Todd wasn't just a total butthole. Like he wasn't. I mean, he wanted to do good, and then
he was a hothead, and then got himself.
He was a hothead, but he wasn't a douchebag.
Right. So you've got Dick Grayson, who was probably the most athletic Robin of all of them. Jason Todd was probably the most like Bruce as a young kid. Yeah. Tim Drake is the best detective of all of them.
Right.
And Batgirl was Batman's best student.
Right.
And then you go to homicidal, the Wesley Crusher.
Yeah. He's stuck here because he's my son. It's the boss's kid.
Right. So, I mean, we'll see, but I do not like Damian Wayne at all.
Yeah.
Can't stand him.
Yeah, he's an acquired taste, and I haven't acquired it quite yet. I think there's moments that are okay, but I don't like the character as a whole.
I would have kept him with the League of Assassins.
Yeah, well, why wouldn't you? Like, I mean,
make him a bad guy.
He does not fit in. He does not fit in with the Bat family. Yeah, I wish they would start with a Dick Grayson story. That's just me. But yeah. I will say we've seen Dick Grayson on screen before. We've never seen a Tim Drake. We've never seen a Jason Todd. We've never got to see it.
Well, if you watch the show Titans, you have seen Jason Todd and Tim Drake.
I actually never even bothered with Titans.
It was okay. This last season was, which was the last season, and you could tell because they rushed through the last.
Rush to the close, huh?
Oh, and it was just so anticlimactic because I'm like, wait, what? That's it? No, wait, no, because what was it? The last season, the protagonist was Mother the Mayhem. So you know you're leading up to Brother Blood,
right?
And so that's magic. So Raven was affected. they
Right.
brought in Jinx, and they kept referencing this guy the entire season. Never showed up.
No, he never showed up. He didn't even show up like shoehorned in at the end.
No, and I'm like,
Oh,
I mean,
no.
even to the point where they're doing this spell thing, and this gypsy tells Nightwing to say the words, and he's like, into the light I command thee, and I'm like, for one, I hate that film.
Brother Blood.
For one, I hate that film, and if you're going to keep referencing and hinting at John Constantine better show up, but he never did. So I was annoyed. All set up and no payoff.
Yeah,
it was terrible.
I tell you what, after hearing your takes on these, I'm pretty close to the same. I think of course I'm a huge Superman fan. I always have been. Closely followed, of course, by the Batman. I mean, they're the best. I mean, and I think they're so great because that.
No, he's not. He's a big jerk.
I think Batman and Superman are just two sides of the same coin. One's just the upright, he's going to be the moral justice, and the other one is the grittier, do what needs to be done kind of justice. And I've always liked that about those two. So I think my most anticipated, definitely Superman Legacy at the top for me. I can't wait to see that. Swamp Thing's going to be really cool. That's going to be neat. It's going to be different, I think, but a good different.
And Mangold, you're going to need to knock this one out of the park so we can forgive you for Indy 5.
Yeah. Well, he did great on Logan. I mean,
let's hope.
Let's hope. Yeah. Here's what Joker. Oh, here's the hope. That's me. That's me. I'm rubbing off on you. Off on you just a little bit. But yeah, definitely Swamp Thing. I do want to see Brave and the Bold. I do want to see it. I'll reserve judgment, like I always do. I always reserve judgment, even if I'll reserve judgment until I see it. But yeah, Damian's not my favorite. Robin, and if it's going to focus on that dynamic between those two, I won't check it. I'll watch it, but I'll probably, I might not be that enthused.
Well, now it's a film. I mean, it's a film, so it'll be like a one and done, or is it something that I'm going to go back to and go back to and go back to?
Right.
See, the series are Booster Gold, Paradise Lost, and the Lanterns. Those are
right.
Series. Also with Creature Commandos and Waller.
Yeah. Right. And I'm not too I don't know. I'd have to watch Peacemaker. I've heard mixed things. I've heard some people say
it's great. I have heard folks say that they love it. It was amazing. I cannot get past Cena in a starring role.
Yeah. I'll probably go back and watch it. I'll go see it. It's on Amazon. I'll watch it. I think it's on Amazon.
No,
Oh, it is. It is.
Yeah, that's
God, I was
Max.
thinking of what's the other one that's on Amazon? It's the other superhero thing. I always for some
reason. The boys.
Yeah, I don't know why. I've never watched The Boys either, but I need to. I've heard it's really, really, really good. I have not heard mixed things about that.
It is twisted.
Yeah, I've liked that, and I know. We're not. This isn't DC. What do you think about Invincible? You like Invincible?
Oh, loved it.
Fantastic. Loved it. Yeah, same here.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't know. When I think of the Peacemaker, yeah, you're right. That's on. I've got access to Max. I can watch it. But anyways, I'll probably go back and watch that. But I don't know. I heard it was really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just didn't really grab it. It's not something I heard about. I was like, hey man, I have to go see that. Yeah, Supergirl. Yeah, I have some fears about that as well.
Lanterns. Do we think about
Now,
lanterns?
that's gonna be cool. And
The cop drama.
so, do we know who's the main protagonist? What lantern are we getting?
Well,
Is it
we
stories?
don't know because right now, because of the writer's strike, everything is on hold. Everything is on hold, which if there's going to be a silver lining to this, they're gonna, because now you've created a backlog, and studios are going to have to look at projects that they're are waiting to get started, and then they may just have to go, okay, we're not going to do this. Let's put this over here. We're not, so I think something like the Authority may not get made, even though that would be a pet project for James. I don't think it's enough of a selling point to make or break the DCU. And so, but for the other studio across the street, okay, Agatha Harkness, let's get rid of you. Let's see what else let's get rid of you. Just let's focus on, say, the Fantastic Four and
and the mutants,
X-Men, and just forget everything else.
Yeah, I kind of wish they would just let's bring whatever we're doing right now to a swift close, and let's Fantastic Four, X-Men.
Let's just you know what? Let's just that Phase 4 thing. Yeah, that didn't happen. Don't look at that over there.
Bring Flash into the Marvel Universe. Anyways, but I am excited.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. You get one. We're PG-13.
Okay. So actually, you mentioned the Flash, and this is a topic that keeps popping up. Is this going to overlap with the Snyderverse? I can answer that in one word. No.
Well, I think they're going to try to. I mean, there's a whole reason that James Gunn is coming in and doing his own thing. There's a whole reason that they're kind of taking this. It's a massive shift. It's literally just a massive thing. And
because originally, before Gunn and Saffron were introduced, Zaslav and Mike DeLuca, his right hand guy, they wanted the big three back. So that's why they paid Henry for that cameo at the end of
Black Adam.
Right. Ben then said, I don't want to play Batman anymore. I'm old.
Yeah.
I'm getting tired of it. And that was the first domino.
Yeah.
Then there was then Henry got the gig to produce the Warhammer, where he's the executive.
That's his passion.
Right. And he's going to be executive producer on that. So he's kind of booked for a while.
Yeah.
And then the Patty Jenkins debacle with the script with the script for Wonder Woman 3, and Zaslav just basically said, "That's it. We are starting brand spanking new." James,
you
got your job now.
You're in. And that wasn't a bad decision. And like you said, I mean, it's a total turnaround. And of course, you do have the second Joker movie coming out, but that wasn't connected to the Snyderverse. Nope. I think there's one. Is there any other?
The Batman.
Yes, the Batman. Yes, and which is not connected.
No,
it's not connected to the Snyderverse. Very good film. I loved the Batman. I think it was really long though. It was a good film. I think it was just too long.
Well,
me.
The ending dropped the ball, and that's typical for anyone who's a student of J.J. Abrams, which Matt Reeves is.
Yeah, it started. The beginning of that movie is fantastic. I love the beginning. And then Oh, I've gotten something in the, oh gosh, I love that whole thing. I'm in the feels and the whole mystery. I love the whole mystery. I love it, him being the detective. But yeah,
Right.
it got too long in the tooth for me by the
Very.
end of it. I was just like, my gosh, let's wrap this thing up. But much like my podcast sometimes.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. That's a joke, everyone. I know you guys love listening to Dork Wars. But yeah, I think this is going to be good for DC Studios. I'm excited to see just how this goes, and it's all going to start hopefully with Superman Legacy.
Do what do you think is going to be the big surprise of this slate?
The surprise hit?
Yeah.
Oh. So that's a hard one. I mean, it's a lot of good stuff because I think you expect the Lantern Corps to be great. You expect Superman to be great. You even if you have misgivings about Batman, you expect a Batman anything to be great. So it has to be Swamp Thing, man. It has to be Swamp Thing.
Booster Gold.
You think Booster Gold's it? It's going to be because Booster Gold's not a household name.
No, and
that's not.
I mean, and really, neither is Swamp Thing either.
No, they're not. It's not. But Booster Gold, I think, is a little bit even more out there. I think.
It's Swamp Thing. It is definitely more obscure. Yes.
Yeah.
But if it is Chris Pratt, you got star power right off the bat.
Yeah.
And
star power
and playing a lovable loser. That's right. That's his shtick.
That is. And I'd love to see it, man. I love Chris Pratt. I think he does. I think he's great in everything he's in. And I think that's also a possibility. I think those two. I think it's the lesser known, and that's kind of how the MCU started too. Like Iron Man. Who would ever think like an Iron Man movie is going to start
a C-lister?
Yeah, I mean. Seriously, and then like Doctor Strange became like his movie was really the first one was really good. I really liked all that, but introducing like some of these characters that were like I've heard the name, but I don't really know. And then you get into it now. I mean, Iron Man, he's the superhero. Captain America, of course. I think Captain America is more like a B-lister to me.
Well, okay. So when the MCU started, they had two A-list title names. They had Cap and the Hulk, and they couldn't really use the Hulk as much because Universal still owns the movie rights to him.
And the Hulk, man, it's hard to make a good Hulk film. I mean,
I was never a Hulk fan. Never liked
Hulk. There's not a lot of nuance to the Hulk. He's great. I think I like how they used him. I like how they used him in the MCU at first. I think they did a great job with him, but as solo in his own film, it was never been a good idea.
No.
But yeah, and then Thor, I would say Thor's. I would say he was a B-lister. Yeah,
B-lister, which is why in the comics they made the Avengers to start with to give these B and C-list characters to prop them up.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna get a similar thing here with DC Studios and James Gunn. He's gonna bring some of these maybe even D-list characters. Like we just really don't.
On a slate is the Authority. Who has heard of them?
Right.
Yeah, nobody. That's like an M tier.
Yeah. So and if it works out and they become it's just this show that pops off, you know.
If it gets made, if it gets made. So this is supposed to, like I said, the writer's strike and now the pending actor's strike too, on top of it. Everything is kind of ground to a halt. So
I'll tell you what, cast me. I'll come in.
Ooh, you scab, crossing them. Never mind. I'm just gonna.
Hey man, the money's right. I mean, I can't. I don't think I can be Superman. I might be able to be Swamp Thing though. But anyways, just closing this thing out. Any final thoughts on this, Joker, before we head out of here?
I think this is a warning sign to the House of Mouse that your time is up. And with the Warner Brothers taking this route, taking James Gunn, your formerly most talented storyteller, is now gone at Marvel, and Universal is basically eating your lunch, and they're about to open another theme park, epic universe. I think the tide is shifting where we're not looking. We're going back to telling stories, not checking boxes.
Yeah,
and hopefully we get back. Hopefully that's where this takes us.
Yeah. So, and this will be kind of my final thought. I think that Disney and the MCU did a very good job in the beginning. They built a very good universe. They had a very solid foundation. And I think that Warner Brothers tried to catch up too quick, and the Snyderverse fell on its face because of that.
Yep.
They tried to catch up to Marvel in almost a quarter of the time, just didn't work. Now, correct. I think the MCU's gotten too interconnected, too much going on, too many, like you say, boxes need to be checked. This person has to be here, and we have to have this many people doing this, and this represent, and it just kind of clutters up the storytelling process. Just tell the story, Mm-hmm. And I think Warner Brothers has taken a step back. They've evaluated what they've done. They see the path forward, and I think they're going a different way. And I can't wait to see where it goes. So,
true story.
Thank you, as always, Joker Voice, for being
My
on
pleasure.
Dork Wars.
My pleasure.
We love having you here. So, where can we find you again before we sign out?
You can find me on YouTube at The Joker's Voice, and on Twitter you can find me at Los_protege.
Yeah, and look out for Joker Voice. Always got great takes on everything. He releases a couple videos a week.
Three
videos a week. 3 a week. And I think tomorrow you'll have a Monday news.
Doing the last week's news now, and then I will also be on at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. We are over on Legion Talk, which I will also be simulcasting from my channel as well. Going back to the world of Westeros, Game of Thrones Season 4, Episode 1. We've gone through 3 seasons so far, working our way through, and it should be right on time for the Season 2 of House of the Dragon.
Nice. Awesome. Well, don't miss any of the Joker Voices content at all. There's something you don't want to miss. Awesome content creator, awesome takes. And don't miss Dork Wars, the podcast. You can find us, of course, on dorkwarspodcast.com. You can find us on the YouTubes where you're probably watching us now. We release lives every other Sunday night at 8:15ish, 8:30. Whenever my internet wants to cooperate. But we love having you guys interact with us. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all Dork Wars, the podcast. Just type it in. You'll find us. Interact if you have any comments on but what we're saying. Comment on this video. Let us know on Twitter or Facebook. Comment. That's the conversation. I love the conversation. Love talking to people who listen. Always brightens my day. So check us all out. Thank you. And may the force be with you.
Toodles.
Thank you for supporting Dork Wars, the podcast. You can check us out on Facebook.com/Dork Wars, the podcast. And if you would like to join in on the discussion or maybe suggest topics for us to discuss, please do so by joining our Discord community or sending us an email at dorkwarspodcast@gmail.com.